What up? What up? What up? What up? This is me and Eric, Mad Scientist, back at you one more again. Yes, we is. This episode is the Mad Scientist explains imprecatory prayer, and also he'll be discussing: Do God condone the R word that rhymes with grape? Yeah. Eric, Mad Scientist, come on up here and step on up here and grab the microphone.
Yes, this Eric the Mad Scientist. You can catch me on all platforms, Eric the Mad Scientist, or AKA Gabrielle Hamalakia is on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I'll be speaking on imprecatory prayers and that God condone, the R word, because a lot of people are misusing these verses and trying to downplay our Most High. So our job is to defend these scriptures and defend the Most High and get a reality of understanding why these things are in the verses and what really goes on, and explain it the right way instead of explaining it in the way of being biased because you're trying to send an agenda. So I'm gonna speak on precatory prayers, and this is from the verse when people like Sarnetta try to use bashing children's head against the rocks, like just somehow the Most High is just some violent entity that just wants you to bash people's heads against a rock. So I'm gonna explain why this is in the verse.
That's
so I'm gonna explain.
crazy.
I'm gonna explain why this is being said in the story of it. So next time you hear people trying to use these things, you can defend yourself. That's why we going. I'm going each verses and verses because these are the things. When I hear people bring up these verses, I'm gonna go back to it and explain what it really means. This is our job.
You say like God just gonna allow people to just go walk around bashing heads of people.
Yeah.
I'm saying that if human beings are as cruel as that, you know what I'm saying, and if that may have happened, you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if you believe that our God does that, then can you prove that? Don't come
Yeah.
with a scripture because see what we understand as Bible believers and Bible and scriptural readers. You know what I'm saying? What we understand is that these words is nothing but words. These words have to be manifest. Show me where these words have ever got manifest.
Yeah. So I shared it. So all you gotta do is pull it up now,
Yeah.
and we will go verse by verse and explain what's going on with this. Okay, now this is a verse he always use and people always use. Blessed shall he be who takes the little ones and dashes their head them against a rock. Okay, so this is the verse that you see people always trying to use to say, "See the Most High killing kids and bashing their head against the rock. He's brutal." Now let's go to the next.
You gonna tell the moral of the story at all?
No, I'm gonna bring it up why this is being explained.
Oh, okay.
I just like to show the verse. So this is the verse that I see they use. So this is the main thing that is based off of this one verse.
Now, what chapter and book is that? We see that's verse 9, but what chapter and book?
Um, Let me see if I can catch that on here. Yep, I think it's Psalms 137 and 9, if I'm mistaken.
All right.
All right. So this is me explaining it. Psalms 137 9 is found in one of the imprecatory psalms or precatory psalms that speak of a violence against the enemies of God. That verse reads, "Happy is the one who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks." To imprecate means to pray evil against, and to imprecatory prayers in the Bible strike people today as strange or wrong. So what is they saying? They're saying it's a people who either oppress you or your enemy that's causing real harm to you, and you're praying for the Most High to defeat your enemy, even if they have to do these. Even if and you're praying the worst comes to these enemies just for them to be defeated, meaning when somebody is a slave or enslaved, what do? They want to free themselves from slavery. They pray to God, just do anything you have to do to get these people from oppressing us. So it's more like a prayer to say, please God, defend us from our enemies and our oppressors. But it's not an action that people actually are doing. It's actually a prayer. And
It's
so
like
some people call it a curse on the people.
when you say like it's like you know how you pray to God for protection, right?
Yeah,
You know, one of the greatest benefits of being a believer in God is that you believe that your God is your protector,
yeah,
right? You
yep,
believe that the Lord is your shepherd, right? And that what David said. David said, "The Lord is my shepherd,
yeah,
and as my protector, in the case where my life and my family and my race are in danger due to the hands of the enemy, would I not be praying this? What kind of prayer should I have? Right?
exactly.
Should I be praying that this person who's doing this to me hit the lottery? Should I
Nope.
be praying
I mean, yeah,
health and strength
nope,
for this person so he
nope,
can further annihilate me?
nope.
It's ridiculous when you try to twist up the scriptures. You know, go back to what I was trying to say the other day. You know, when you read the story and then you let someone tell you you did not read what you just read, that's
Exactly.
gaslighting.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's putting you down to lift him up. You know, and that's exactly what that would do if you don't check that, right?
yep,
You have to check that because this guy is insulting your intelligence. He telling you that this thing meant this, and when you go back to read that, it didn't even mean that.
exactly.
See, this is why you don't listen to false preachers, right? And false leaders. And I hate to say it, but Sinetta is one of those guys that'll jump into a leader seat like he's one of the leaders of the black community. And then when the fire get on his ass, I'm just a journalist. I'm just reporting.
Yeah,
You see, come on, man. That man ain't no type of leader. Okay, he's a journalist, and we just gonna look at his ass as a journalist.
yeah. And many people are listening to a man who don't even study the Bible, and that's getting his information from other people who don't know nothing about the Bible.
Yeah,
So
but he getting his information from biblical dissenters.
yeah,
You know, and I'm
Khalil
gonna
Mani, Khalil Namani is not not a real researcher and teacher of the Bible, nor Nepal.
none of those people are. None of them. None of them. I'm talking about all of those people are have history of being aligned in the occult.
Yeah,
All of them been in the cults. Yahweh ben Yahweh, you disguised that as the Israelite man. That was a cult. Any man sitting up there telling you today Moses, Jesus, or any of that crazy shit, man, that's a cult.
yep. Let's
Amani
get
has been in a cult, and Napa GMS cult.
yeah,
She would agree with the bashing of the stone because she was brought into this by way of a cult who believed that it's okay and God condones the G.
yeah. And they go by precept. They go by going to one verse and then jumping to another verse and not even going to the whole story.
Yeah, and as they say these things on their channel, they notice that there's always a rapist somewhere around looming
Yeah,
on that channel. The polite thing, they was running with that man all the way up until the fuzz got on his butt.
yeah,
When the fuzz got on his butt, and Sinetta still didn't let him go
yeah,
because Sinetta is the God that condones the grape.
yeah. Hold on, but wait till we get to that part. I don't want to talk about that until I get to that subject. But this is to imprecate means to invoke evil upon or curse one's enemies. King David, the psalmist most associated with imprecatory verses such as Psalms 55:15, 69 to 28. Let death steal over them. Let them go down to Sheol alive, for evil is in their dwelling place and in their heart. Let them be blotted out of the book of the living. Let them
Mm,
not be enrolled among the righteous. So these are other purgatory prayers that people like even King David had against his enemies.
yeah.
Okay. When David prayed to God to shatter the teeth of his enemies, likening them to young lions pursuing him to his death, he was making the point that God is holy, righteous, and just, and he will ultimately judge the wicked for the evil they do. Jesus quoted some of these imprecatory psalms during his earthly ministry. In John 15:25, Jesus quoted Psalms 35:19 and 69:4. Paul also quoted a purgatory prayer in Romans 1:9 and 10, which is a quote of Psalms. So even the New Testament went back into the Old Testament. So that's what y'all know that none of that stuff is created by them. It's all copied from the Old Testament, which is a quote of the Psalm 69:22-23. Since Jesus Paul quoted verses from these imprecatory Psalms, it proves that the Psalms were inspired by God and counters any allegation that they were sinful or selfish prayers of revenge. You know what I'm saying? So what they're trying to say that these things are saying that they were from God and it was praying to God, which is a righteous God. So therefore, you cannot say it's a revenge prayer. It's actually a prayer against the enemy of God and the enemy against God's children.
Hmm.
Okay. Using purgatory prayers from Psalms today should only be done against our spiritual enemies. Praying in a manner always God to work in our own lives to soften our hearts toward our enemies so that we'll have compassion of them for their eternal destiny and to remove bitterness and anger from our hearts. Praying for God's will to be done means to agree with God and to submitting ourselves to his divine sovereignty, despite not always understanding perfectly what he does in a particular situation. And it means we have given up the idea that we know best and instead are now relying on the trusting in God to work his will. If a personal wrong has truly been done to us, we seek God in prayer about it and then leave room for God's judgment and trust him to do what is best.
I see you talk about the spiritual enemy there. I want to say
Um,
this. What people don't understand is that your spiritual enemy is your real enemy.
yeah,
You know, more than more than what you would understand. You know what I'm saying? You would think that your spiritual enemy is your enemy that's invisible.
yeah, uh,
No, your spiritual enemy is a real breathing enemy.
yeah,
You know, and he's so real that you need to be concerned about it.
yeah,
Okay, and I think that even in today's time, the enemy is so evil and wicked that you may need to do a little bit more than imprecatory prayer. You may have to defend yourself.
hmm,
Alan.
yeah. Um, Yeah, it was this was speaking on like at the time when they was doing it, it was basically faith based on I mean because we understand that at certain times they did do stuff like King Solomon did, I mean King David did do things. So people like Samson did do things. So it was times um that you had to go into action. Proprietary prayer, I think, is just the blueprint of it, and then the action comes after. So I think it's more like praying to give us the strength, or
Yeah,
basically, it's your will to be done. So if we have to do this, we will do it. So we
yeah,
lead you. but we're letting you lead the
yeah.
way. So
And
that's
we're
what.
asking that you do this if you have to do this through us.
Yes, yes,
You know, that's why I
yep,
was saying that it's going to get to the point to where if you get when you have to do imprecatory prayer, it's all it's on and popping, baby.
yeah,
You know, and you're going to eventually that prayer, if that prayer and that God answering that prayer, you know, you're going to end up doing something about it. Because this
yeah,
prayer is really, like I said, it's either God, you do something about it, or you empower me to do something about it.
yeah,
You know, I used to tell people. I remember times I used to talk to, and people would say stuff, and they'd say some messed up stuff, and I would say, "Man, you get effed up for that." You know, the reason I know you could get effed up for that, because I'm the type of nigga that'll f you up for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, God will strike you down. God will. I know God will strike you down for that. He'll use me to do it. That's the part that they don't want to hear. Oh, they violent. They violent. Yes, I'm violent towards those who are violent towards me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an eye for an eye. I'm not a turn the cheek. There's nowhere in Hebrew history that we were supposed to go turning the cheek.
Mm-mm.
I want to say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you get back to this. I want to say something about the show you had last night, man. That thing you brought out about Peter and Christ.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Fire. Y'all go back over there and check out the show we did last night. I mean, man, hey, I'm telling you, man, that show, the stuff that was coming out, and you were dropping that heat last night, E. I let my play.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, that was a good show. Um, but this is people explaining to me, like people like Sadnetta, who is black African, Pan African people who say, "Oh, look what God do." I'm going to show you. This is what people that they look up to did. Uh, Khalid Muhammad said this: whites in Africa have 24 hours to leave. If they don't, we would kill everything in sight. We would kill the women, man, babies, blind, and crippled, or homosexual. Why do we kill the babies? Because they'll grow up to enslave us. So the same people who's telling you that your God is a killer and do this and this and this, they look up to the same type of man who goes and tell you that we should kill the enemies, the mothers, the sons, the children, the blind, even the cripple and the
Yeah.
homosexual.
So he's a mandatory human.
Yeah. So
he's
he,
he's the manifestation of imprecatory prayers.
yeah. So this lets you know that they don't really care about doing that. They just try to make you seem like your God is just so evil, but they look up to the same human being that is doing and saying the same exact
Hold up,
things.
and the same God, because he said his God Allah inspired him to do
E-
this.
Exactly.
So it's all a bunch of fake mess over there. You know what I'm saying? It's divide and conquer. You know, I want to say this, man. When I first came into this Israelite movement, you know, I didn't know. You know, I had to learn from elders like Prince Aziel and other elders from movement. You know, I saw videos where those elders would talk about Prince Aziel and them, and how they would talk about how they was in college right along with these great people. You know what I'm saying? They was this back in the '60s. You know what I'm saying? And they were saying how like it was always a fight between the Egyptian people and the Israelite people. The Israelite would embrace the blackness of the Egypt and everything that came with Egypt. Egypt hated us. They hated us. I'm talking about they hated what the Israelites were doing, the Egyptian people. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the real people from Egypt. I'm talking about the Egyptian progenitors of today.
Yeah.
You know, they have been, you know what I'm saying, and hating on Black Israel for the longest. And the sad thing about it, almost all of their information is pseudo as hell, man.
Yeah. And it's bias driven. It's bias driven. It's it's racial driven. It's just it's everything that's not true. It's everything that's not how you're supposed to look at history and anything that you teach. They teaching it from one eye, one view of things.
Yeah.
And when you
Race.
say, and when anybody study history, like man, you study science, study anything, it's never 100% agreement on anything.
I'm gonna tell you why I can't teach black supremacy. Right now, I understand that black people are great people. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
But if we were, for me to preach black supremacy is to say that black people are supreme. And if
yeah,
we were supreme, we would have never failed the. off.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
If we were so supreme, we would have never allowed Europeans to dominate us. And what I'm telling you is that's what we have done. We as a people has allowed, we gave them, we bowed down to their dominance over us without a fight. Learn about a man by the name Abu Abdallah who surrendered Spain over to King Isabella and Ferdinand without a damn fight.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the Moor, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
his name is Abu Abdallah.
Yeah, you talking about the letter that they sent to Christopher Columbus when they
This
said
is
the
before
Moorish
Christopher
king.
Columbus. Yeah, this was a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit before Christopher Columbus.
Because I
This
know
is
Christopher Columbus got a letter when they were saying the Moorish king has bowed to the
oh well, it may have
bowed
been
to them.
because but the thing because the king had bowed the general. He was a general. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know whether
Okay.
yeah
Okay.
he was a general, but he was a general of power. That had the power to surrender. You know what I'm
Uh.
saying? And he surrendered. He surrendered Spain to. So what I'm saying is that if we were so supreme, and the crazy part about it is the Moors had a superior army and
Yeah.
everything than these people. They just surrendered. They just surrendered because he didn't want them to kill his daughter. Give me my
Man.
daughter back, and I'll turn all of this into you.
Yeah.
You had an army that could have slaughtered these people.
Yeah.
You were highly more intelligent. You had way more sophisticated weaponry, but you just turned it over to these people. And it brought the Moorish Empire to shambles because many of the Moors hated him for that.
Yeah.
Was upset, like, man, you turned it over. You turned over Spain without El Andalus without a fight.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if we were so great, man, how did this happen? If we were supreme, how did this happen? This is why I can't teach black supremacy because there's nothing supreme about you turning over the headquarters. Spain was basically the headquarters of the world at one time, man.
Yeah. I don't teach it because it teaches in a way history in a way that is not real and try to make us bend make us the good that every all our history was great and when it wasn't
Yeah.
and try to
That's pretty much
justify
what I
the
just
bad
said.
parts of our history. Yeah, and try to justify the bad parts of our history.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing as I said, and I appreciate you rewording it. You know, yeah, but it's that's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know, if we was all of this, like you want to pump up our greatness, if we was all this freaking great, how did you lose your sovereignty?
Exactly.
You turned it over without a GD fight. Come on, man, I can't teach black supremacy. Every movement that we had to try to get our sovereignty back, there was another Negro in there to break it down.
Yeah.
That's not supremacy, brother. That's ignorance, foolishness, and self hatred, brother.
Yeah.
No, I can't teach no damn black supremacy. I can't do it because black people haven't proven to me that they were superior to nobody, not even in the fields of sciences that you created. Because they run all the tech companies. You don't, but you created the science. Man, I'm done. I can't. I'm done with that. No black
Yeah.
supremacy here, brother. Go ahead, E.
Okay. This is speaking of people like Ned Turner, who people tried to demonize him and not understand that he did not attack any innocent or poor white people. He actually only attacked the um the slave masters and his and their families. So
Yeah,
this is something that I'm showing. This is another person. The reason I'm showing them because this is another person that these black atheists and black supremacists try to speak on against God and say God is violent, God do this and this and that. But these are the people that they look up to and the things that they did. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you that these people actually did these things that was under the same and did things of the same God that they try to disclaim. You know what I'm saying? But they follow these people but don't follow the God these people follow. Okay. But are we to make it a natural determination to attack whites without regard to age and sex? It is possible that it was simply a product of incriminate rage um, at all those who were a part of the race that had him enslaved him and his people for generations. The choice to disregard this personhood of white children may have arisen from sheer vindictiveness against those who had long ignored the humanity of black children. It may have been employed to a religious framework that was of central importance of Nat Turner, a manifestation of the biblical injunction, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. On the other hand, there have been an ideology behind this decision to a message Turner wanted to send. Perhaps he indeed to demonstrate his conviction that slavery should come to an end, even if it meant wiping out all the future generation of slaveholders. There may, however, have also been a tactical reason for this decision to include white children among the rebels' victim. Killing all whites, adults, and children alike could have represented, in other words, a calculated, rational strategy implicated as means of giving the revolt a best chance of succeeding. So what they are saying is, um, when he attacked these slave masters, the children, the women, everything, he did it to as a strategy too to get them to understand if this keep going on and y'all keep enslaving us, we're gonna rebel and we're not gonna only just come after you, we're gonna come after your whole family like you did us. Which started all types of revolution and which started the first phase of actually freedom. See what I'm saying? So but this is the point of saying again that these atheists and people that try to say God is violent and evil, they're actually cause these people heroes that's doing the same thing under the name of the Most High.
Wouldn't that be just though? That's not violent. That's justice. That's just,
Yeah,
right? It's just
yeah,
because the reason why it's just because is you got a people that fed your kids to alligators. You're talking about we didn't feed our people, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
you fed our kids to alligators. You cut babies out of our women's stomachs.
yeah.
And what type of pressure we have for y'all to keep doing it to us?
Exactly.
What I mean, what? Come on, man, make sense of this stuff, Sinetta.
And he
Hey,
was righteous. And he was
it's
righteous enough
okay.
that he was righteous enough that he didn't do it to the people that didn't do nothing to him. He knew exactly who he was going at. He knew
Yeah,
exactly who he was doing it to these people for.
yeah. Y'all over here cutting my kids to alligators. You feed my people on the boats to sharks. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
you're hanging us from trees. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're doing all this. You're doing all of this crazy stuff, and I'm just supposed to just sit here and be thanking God for it. That's what I
yeah,
supposed. That's the prayer that I'm supposed to have.
yeah. I mean, revolution. See, people think revolution is a black word. Revolution is a thing that happened across the whole world, and revolution always been happening. It happens in Europe. Revolution happened in Europe. Revolution happened in the Middle East. It happened in Africa. It happened in South America. If a people is oppressed by another people, eventually they will rise against them people
Yeah,
when they have a chance.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Revolution
that
is
simple.
when you're revolting against the powers that be.
Yeah. I have a whole book on revolution, starting all the way from back in ancient times, all the way up to every single revolution that ever happened, revolt that ever happened. You know what I'm saying?
There was an Israelite revolution.
Yeah,
When you hear about the story about the Sakari and all of that stuff, when you hear about the great
I think
revolts,
I took one.
you read about the revolts and the Kokobo revolts and the Roman Jewish wars. All of that was revolution. They
Yeah,
lost.
yeah,
We lost that
yeah. I think it
revolution
was
though.
American Revolution. Yeah, I mean, America was a revolution when they went against what British, right? The
Yep,
British
yep. They was revolting against
when they
Britain.
went. Yeah, that was a revolt. So revolts always happen. Revolution always happen because anybody that's ever oppressive feel like they have to become other people power. They're gonna revolt. Um. So now we gonna go to this. So we understood that what purgatory prayer was. The purgatory prayer means a people that has the enemy against them that is trying to destroy them or have them oppressed, and they're praying to the Most High to get them out of this oppression or kill their enemies, even if they have to do it in action, and which most likely is the action of them under the Most High faith. So giving faith to the Most High, understanding that whatever happens, wherever way it goes, we understand that the Most High led us this way. This is what a placatory prayer means. So it's not just us walking around taking children and bashing them against rocks. So stop
Yeah, I want
saying
to
that.
say something about that. Yeah, that's crazy. I want to say something like when you said something about the revolution, right?
Yeah,
A lot of black people that are not educated, there's in the pro black movement, right? When they hear revolution, they always connect it to something black.
yeah,
Revolution doesn't have anything to do with race because I remember back in the 80s, what it the 90s, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, something like that,
yeah,
where Jesse Jackson had to go over to Yugoslavia because
yeah,
the Yugoslavians were over there revolting against the Yugoslavian government.
yeah,
Do you remember that?
yeah,
And Jesse Jackson had to go over there and break it up.
yeah.
To this
I'm
day, the Yugoslavian government idolized Jesse Jackson for that. Not but the people. They'll never
yeah,
forget it. They say a black man came over, from it's almost like they felt like black civil rights leaders who was fighting for our rights came over there and stopped there and stopped it, fought for their cause, won. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But it was a white on white revolution. It wasn't had nothing to do with race.
yeah. I mean, if you want to say that, well, no, I can't say. Well, I mean, if you want to say the Exodus was supposed to have been a revolution, I mean, I can't really say that. It wasn't really a revolt, but that was more like that was more like an Exodus, like basically like leaving out.
Yeah, we
Um,
getting the F up out of here. But
yeah,
I mean, they didn't have enough time to revolt.
yeah, yeah, no,
You know, they revolted against the Assyrians, and they had the Egyptians on their side.
yeah. Like the
You
Celt,
know,
like the Celts had always revolted against the Romans. You know what I mean? Like stuff
yeah,
like that. Yeah, it's always been like ancient revolts. So it's this thousand and thousand years of revolts. It ain't just like what black people have did. We take a lot of it because we name it. We don't say revolt. We say revolution. So now all of a sudden we took this word and make it seem like this is only a black thing that people did with revolts. A revolt
no,
just means people under oppression that's revolting against the oppressor.
that's right. And that revolting is called a revolution.
Yeah. All right, so we gonna go to this. Did God condone grape? I'm just gonna say grape. So did God condone the R word? And this reason I'm speaking on this because again, these black atheists and these motherfucking black supremacists, they coming out saying that the Most High condone rape, which doesn't make any sense because it's the same God that told you don't have incest. That tells you don't eat certain food, don't worship other gods, don't be idol worshippers, don't murder, don't do this. But he's telling you you can grape somebody. This doesn't make any sense, right? So we'll get into this. All right, Deuteronomy 22, 28, 29 is often pointed to by atheists, skeptics, and other Bible attackers as evidence that the Bible is backwards and cruel and therefore not the Word of God. For first glance, this passage seems to command that a rape victim must marry her rapist. Is that the correct interpretation of the text? And if so, how is that not horrible, unfair to the woman? This issue is actually addressed in two passages, both of which are below. And it says this: if a man finds a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold of her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel father 50 shekels of silver, and shall be his wife, because he have humbled her, and he may not put her away in all his days. Now, these people would take this and try to say that this person has raped this woman, okay? This is not what they're saying. This is actually talking about a man who finds a virgin, who's lays down, who basically talks her into laying down with him, and when they're found laid down together, he basically has to marry her, and he can't put her away, and he has to pay the father. This is what this talking. This is not talking about the grape, okay? Because I'm gonna show you
What's,
what happens. What happens when you grape somebody?
but what happens in the? Go ahead, E. Go ahead.
No, no, you can say what you're saying.
I lost my thought.
Okay. So this part right here, they would see this verse and would try to say this. See, the man raped the woman, and when he raped her, they made her marry her. This is not what this is saying. This is what saying if you find this woman, she's a virgin, and you talk her to land down with you, and they find y'all have laid down together, the man has to pay the father, and she has to become his wife. He cannot put her away. Okay.
I know what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that imagine this, man. Right? Imagine the mind of
Yeah.
a person has the audacity to go to the devil to teach him the word of God.
Exactly.
What kind of person is that, man? What
Yeah.
kind of person, the mind of a person that's going to go to a devil or a Satan, not a devil, a Satan, an adversary of God to learn about the things of God?
Exactly.
That's a sick individual. And that whole platform is a sick platform. You do not go to the devil to learn the things of God,
And then
right?
and then you
It's
don't
just like
sit there and agree with them.
you don't go to my adversaries to learn the things of my family. They're gonna
Yeah.
lie to you about my family.
And y'all
You understand,
fools is
you
out here
understand?
listening to and y'all fools is out here listening to any Israelite that's telling them that we have the right to grape a woman because it's this scripture is fools and you listening to a fool.
But see, he's an elder, man. And his platform is his church. And
Yeah.
that is his sermon. So if you can understand that, then you must understand that he is preaching that his God condones this. And
Yeah.
everybody, I can name all of the people on his platform that have been charged with this stuff.
Damn, that's sad.
With Morpheus just had a daughter that passed away. I think she was murdered by her man because Morpheus would get on here and say that the man got the right to just take a shit from a woman.
Wow.
Do you see how God is striking these niggas down, man, for playing with him like that?
Yeah, that's
Do y'all
crazy.
understand that I don't care what y'all say. My channels, I have several social media platforms, and they all get striked when I mention that Sarnetta is being watched by the feds. That means that he's being watched by the feds,
Yeah.
and they trying to shut me the freak up. Okay, because there's no reason for the authorities to be even watching me or bothering me. I ain't got nothing to do with them. They watching me because I had something to do with the show, and they want to know what I got to say about it, and they don't want me to be telling their business.
Yeah.
Yes, that man's show is being watched, and it's being watched because he's saying dumb shit like this on the air to people, to American citizens, black, white, blue, and green, and anything in between. This is
Yeah.
what he's doing. Okay. And you notice the morality of the people drops when a minister, a elder, get up here and preach that God condone this type of stuff. Look at the
Yeah,
morality
that's
as it
foolishness.
always drops. Because anytime a man can sit up there and say something, blaspheme God, and God don't strike him down, then people think he right. And then all the freaks gonna come out. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wake up, people.
Okay. Exodus 22:16 and 17. And this was this. If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of the virgins. If a man happens to meet a woman who is not pledged to be married and he rapes her, now this is when I'm showing the different interpretations of these verses, where you seeing that they try to, and this is New International Version, they try to put this word in here. You see what I'm saying? They try to put this word
Yeah.
in here. So when you go
Wow.
to Exodus, it's saying entice. Entice just means basically it's talking her into, or and finding a way into giving her to give it to him. And then it's saying if he refuses to
Spitting
marry
that
her,
game.
he has to pay for it. Yeah. And if he refuses to pay for it. But then when you go to 28 in the International Version, it says, if a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married, and he grapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her for as long as he lives. Now, did it? Now, tell me, does this make now? You could say this two ways. You could say, okay, I don't believe that it's talking about graping a person, and they put this in here, or either you could say, is this would this be punishment for a graper? Let's say a graper did do this. Would this be punishment for, if he was to actually do it, and you still punish him and say you had to take care of this woman for the rest of his her life?
Yeah, see, because you have to understand how the society was structured. The
Yeah,
society was structured in such a way to where everybody have a mate.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And when someone, what has happened is that, see, when you're having sex, you're not to have premarital sex in
yeah,
Israel. Period. Right? That's the law. No premarital sex. Right? So what? See, there's this other parts to this. Right? See, this girl. The reason why I say, okay, who is not pledged to be married, right, and grapes her, and they're discovered. That part about and they're discovered, right?
yeah,
Because a lot of times, even back then, even Israelites would try to circumnavigate the law, right?
yeah, yeah,
Girls would give up their virginity and still lie. You know what I'm saying? Like they was virgins.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so to stop that, right? And guys would be still trying to get the cuckoo, without trying to marry this girl. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So to be able to stop that, you know what I'm saying? Premarital sex, this is why this law was placed into play. So basically, if he had sex with this girl prior to marriage, it's either one or two ways they can explain it. Either she was playing the harlot in her father's house, meaning committing fornication, or this man took it from her. And this is
yeah,
why the law say that she must tell. Because
yeah.
if she don't tell, then we know that she was in on it too, and it was just nothing more than a fornicating act.
Yeah, and we gonna show, and I'm gonna show later in another verses that when a woman lost her virginity, she was worth nothing in Israel. Nobody was going to want her. So that's why
Yeah,
if you end up getting raped and somebody forces it on you,
yeah,
that rapist has to marry her
yeah,
and has to take care of her and cannot never divorce her.
yeah. Because you took her virginity from her. You
Yeah.
made her unfit for any other man to marry.
Now you see now people should see there's a difference between graping and enticing. So when you entice a woman and they
Yeah,
find that you enticed her, you can marry her or you can refuse. You just
you
got to pay the
cannot,
father. But if you
you
took it,
cannot,
you have to marry her.
you cannot take a woman's virginity in Israel and don't take care of her.
Yes.
You cannot do that, and this law is exemplifying that. Basically, this here is no different than, remember how during, like, right after slavery, when the Christianity had the same strict rule, you had to be married, right? and
Yeah.
and if you was out here having babies, you know what I'm saying, and wasn't married, you know what I'm saying, it was a letdown to the family and the father of that house. You dig what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you mess around and you was out here fooling around with my daughter, right? And she
Yeah.
came up pregnant, we had what was called the shotgun marriage.
Yeah.
See, we didn't know she was screwing around until she got pregnant.
Yeah. True that.
She was sneaking. This is why they say, and they are discovered, right?
Yeah.
If we find out what the case is, did she get raped, right? Or did she get a coochie up? And if you look at this, the way that they wrote the law, this is genius, man.
Yeah.
This is genius. The way the law was set up, it was very hard for you to be an unholy person in
Because I
Israel.
mean, because I don't, because I personally don't believe that these laws all came at one time. I believe they came the way you said it. I believe they came through experience. That
Yeah,
stuff
through trial and
happened.
error.
Yeah, try and error to when things happen, and then they say, okay, we gonna put this law into effect. We gonna put this
Okay,
law into
see,
effect.
see, here's proof to that, right? Okay, and I kind of wanted to expound on it yesterday, and I wish that I did, and the Lord made you say that, Eric, because now I get to expound upon that. Uh, what was we last saying there? I just let my thought get away.
Trial and error.
Oh yeah, through the trial and error to prove that, right? That this stuff that just didn't come from like God, just like that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
To prove that is that we most of the laws, almost a great portion of the laws that God gave Moses is in Egypt. It's in the Code of Hammurabi, and these were laws that predated Israelite laws, meaning people was living like this already, which
yeah,
means that somewhere from the beginning of history up until that point, man learned from trial and error that you don't do this.
yeah,
And they were doing this, they were practicing these laws before Israel even existed.
yeah,
Israel adopted a lot of those laws. And a lot of those laws, like we were saying, like I think that the only difference from Israel than most of those other ones, when you really look at it, was laws like this, the laws that was the Zana laws, the sex
yeah,
laws,
yeah. The incest laws. Yeah, stuff like that.
the sex laws, the sexual deviancy laws.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that really separated Israel from most of the other people.
Oh, and I'm gonna say the idol worshiping law.
Yeah, the idol worshiping, it's only just a few tweaks that made us
Yeah,
different from other people.
yeah. Because that's why I call it national law. They want to make it. People want to make it religious, individual laws. Like everybody just supposed to. It was a national law put on a nation of people that live on a land that God, the Most High, gave them.
Yeah, because you could think of like the Babylonian temple whoredom. Where what I'm saying is that in Babylon, these people would take their daughters. You know what I'm saying? And they would. It was very customary that their daughters give their virginity up to a prostitute themselves to a John,
Yeah,
and they would have religious ceremonies for this, where she could sleep with a complete stranger. And these are practices that's been going on in Canaan and in Babylon for hundreds and thousands of years until the Israelites came up on the scene.
yeah,
You notice all of these pagan societies they were real loose with their sex laws. Homosexuality was permitted.
yep,
You know, wife swapping orgies. All this crazy stuff.
yeah.
The Israelites was the people that came and put a stop to that.
True.
But I say all that to say that this proves by us having same laws similar to other people who and their laws predates us, meaning that the same thing that we was doing, they were doing, and they was doing it longer, which means that they learned, the people we got it from learned through trial and error.
Yeah,
It's a fact.
yeah. That's what they would call like a universal law.
Yeah,
And it's not like somebody like polite talking about that you was born with it. No, it's something that came through trial and error.
yeah.
Okay.
We learned through trial and error all around the world. When you steal my shit, there's a problem, right? So we know that stealing is bad all
Yeah.
around the world. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead, take the mic, E.
All right. Together, these passages clearly state that if a man, and I wanted to say that God, that doesn't mean God condoned it. And like I said, it was this is something that became later on where humans had to write this into because things was going on, so they had to adapt to what was going on. You see what I'm saying? Together, these passages clearly state that if a man has sex with a virgin who is not brought, brought by, or I mean, he is obliged to marry her. He should have sought out her father's permission first, negotiated a bride price, and taken her as a wife because he did not. He is punished for this. He now must pay up. He can't opt out anymore and marry her. Okay. But her father is ultimately in authority over her as her head until he hands this authority over to her husband. If the man is unsuitable, the father can refuse to give his daughter to him. How many fathers would give their daughter to a rapist? So uh this is what I'm trying to say because so they're saying basically he has authority to hand her over to this person. So when you talking about these laws and it's saying that he has to marry her if he enticed her, why would he give her to a rapist? You see what I'm saying? So it's not like a lot of these laws is not that rape that grape law. That grape law is really got to be really broken down into because it's more like if you took it, you have to. This woman has to be benefit off. Of, I mean, not benefit, but taken care of because you took something that you didn't supposed to take.
But ain't that the
And
same thing as the shotgun marriage?
yeah,
When Daddy found out, so like I said, Daddy didn't make you marry her because he didn't know y'all was sneaking around.
yeah, yeah,
It's when
and
you came up pregnant, he found out you was sneaking around her, and you gonna jump this broom, or I'm gonna kill you.
yeah, and think about this. And I tell people this
And that was
because
very
we
common down south.
and think about this. How much women right now right has been raped by a man, got pregnant. That rapist is in prison, and has to still take care of this baby by herself and has
But
no financial help. So what happens if you took this rape? Now I wouldn't say marry him, but what happened? Because today I wouldn't say marry, but what if you made him do his time, and then he for the rest of his life had to take care of her and that child?
but but this word here, I guarantee you, that word that they translate as grape. This is why when you look at other translations, the word grape ain't there
Yeah,
because
that's what that's what
they
yeah that's what
mistranslated as grape. It's more so like to take, right?
yeah
And you're taking her womanhood, man. You're
yeah
taking her innocence, dog.
yeah. That's why I was
That's
saying.
what
That's
it is
what I was.
like. You're taking her innocence. That don't belong to you. It belonged to her husband.
Yeah, that's why this
You,
part right
because
here.
you as a man think you gonna be slick and be sneaking into her, then I'm gonna go over here and sneak into her. No, your ass got caught, you got busted, and you gonna marry her.
Yeah, that's why this part right here is telling a person that that verse ain't about a person that's raping somebody and happen to marry the woman because what father is gonna let their daughter rapist marry her? So it's
What
not
I'm saying
talking
is
about
that,
that's why we saying that verse is misinterpreted into
yeah,
a rapist when it's not.
yeah,
Because
because
this
when
verse
you
is just basically saying it wouldn't have, what father would say, okay, you've raped her now you gotta marry her. Ain't nobody gonna do that.
yeah, that's crazy. The
Yeah, that's crazy
European
to do that.
fathers who wrote that were thought like that, not the Afro-Asiatics who wrote the Hebrew, because that word, that stigmata that comes with that, is not even in the original Hebrew text.
Yeah. Now,
It's more so
I think they
the
should pay
word.
for the rest of their life. I don't think they should never be around them. They should never see their child if they impregnate them. But I think they should have to pay for the rest of their life for it.
Well, they is paying the rest of their life for it because he wasn't intended on marrying. He was just trying to get some cuckoo.
No, no, no. I ain't talking about on this. I'm talking about just off based off this. I'm saying if a rapist did do that, I think they should have to do a lot of time. And when they get out, they still have to pay dues and send money to the person they did that
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
these
Because
law,
his
the
punishment should never
Hebrew
go away.
the Hebrew laws were designed to stop premarital sex,
Yeah,
just flat out.
yeah.
And
Because
if
what
you
happened
really look
because
at this, if you really look at this, it's ingenious
yeah, you going
because there's no way if we practice this system. I remember what's my man name that was on the show with us, Wilkins.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
David.
David. Yeah.
Yeah, David was talking about, but what can we do to get back to this? Go back to the Lord,
Yeah. Yeah.
repent and go back to the Lord, go back to His law, statutes, and commandments. Because if we had this structured, written in our hearts, right? There's no way that we would have dysfunctional families. There's no way a woman would not have a husband.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because the thing about it, that man who took her virginity during that fornication, he's forced to marry her now.
Yeah. See,
That's what
because
this is about.
yeah, because of the because,
Ain't no man gonna sit up there and just take, like, as a rape, like what you talk about. That stuff didn't exist in that world back then. Them people would have killed that man.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because
And
I'm gonna show.
the
I'm gonna
law
show.
corrected
That's
that.
that's. I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna show the verses where it happened to a person who actually did forcibly take something from a woman,
Yeah,
and
but
I'm gonna show you what that law really is.
that's why it's important that she tell. Because
Yeah,
if you really did this to her, she's telling, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If she out here committing fornication, she done fell in love with you because you her first, it's hard for her to tell because her telling on you gonna get you killed.
yeah. I mean,
You see?
and it's to a point where at that time the daughter was really property to the father, meaning as far as the father actually supposed to got paid from giving his daughter away to the man. So when a
Yeah.
man secretly tried to take it, and then their father found him, he could say, "Look, man, you gonna marry her and you gonna pay me my money." So now
Yeah.
you're forced.
And
So
I
this is
think
where
at one
Ashley
point,
BK tried to get that bull teacher that marriage is sex.
I
That's what
think
they
you got
try
to
to
pay
get this stuff
double though,
from.
don't you?
I think so. Yeah,
When
I
you
think it's
take
like
it this way, you got to pay double.
yeah. But this what Ashley BK get that sexist marriage thing from when they trying to say, oh,
But
you have
but don't you see how if we practice this
yeah,
in the society, how there would be no room for a sexy red?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If we practice this, can you see that there wouldn't even be no room for a rape? With this system implicated, if you was intelligent to be able to read and understand what you're reading, with this very system being implicated, made it impossible
yeah.
for somebody to grape somebody.
And this right here debunks what Ashley BK trying to say marriage is sex because even if you still have sex, you still have to get married.
Yeah, because you got, I mean, who is you to circumnavigate her daddy?
Yeah,
That's her daddy's coochie. From the time he come out to the time you pay him, that coochie belong to her daddy, man.
yeah, and he can deny you.
Yeah.
But most likely he's not because once a woman lose her virginity in that type of era, she is not as viable as being a virgin. And it's for that too.
But can't you see how that if a man naturally really took that, she would tell. If she was
Yeah,
really raped, she's going to tell. If
yeah,
she's playing house, right, and messed around and got that little cherry pop, and she sneaking around, and they got discovered, right?
yeah,
People found out. She
yeah,
got some explaining to do.
yeah,
They have some explaining to do.
yeah,
And there's only two things you can say to us. Did you volunteer for this or did he take it?
yeah. And this
If
man,
he
this is
volunteered for this and
yeah,
you volunteered for this and you didn't tell, because if you tell, we killing them.
yeah. And this thing goes so deep.
If you don't tell, you's a part of it and he has to marry you.
Yeah, and this
Come
thing
on,
goes
man,
so
that's perfection. You don't see that?
yeah, and it goes so deep because it's breaking down from taking to enticing to if somebody is married and then they do it. So it's a punishment for each type of thing. So we talking about the ancient people.
Ooh,
We talking about the ancient people already that today modern
ooh,
people are basing their laws off of this right here.
ooh, Ben Aminum ain't even dropping the fire like this.
Okay, let's go to this. All right.
What what biblical teachers has explained this like this?
Yeah,
Eric, tell me.
yeah, I
We
haven't seen
dropping
that.
that fire over here, buddy. And,
Oh
and
yeah,
we need to call it out. Ain't
yeah,
nobody sitting up there giving the word of truth like this.
nope,
Nobody. You never heard it before.
right?
Watch how you start seeing it and hearing it. It started. Remember where y'all heard this from first.
The sons of Zodok.
We
The
dropping so many points over here, boy. The things that people never could even stretch their mind to understand. This comes from over 45, over 40 years, over 42 years of biblical research. That's what you're listening to. Take it away, E.
The answer to the question as Exodus 22:17, the woman does not have to marry him. She must only do what her father says. 17, if her father utterly refuses her, give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the bride price for the virgins. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Hold on. All right,
Hey,
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Judaism ain't
All
even
right.
kicking it like
That
this.
who?
Judaism. And
You said who?
we the
Oh
only
yeah.
out here that got this kind of funk power, brother.
Yeah.
It's a shame that y'all would rather steal from us than to join with us.
Now this right here. This is interesting right here. I like this part. This is a story of Amon and Tamar, right? And listen to this story and listen closer to this story. 2 Samuel 13:10 and 17. And Amon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them in the chamber of Amon her brother. So Amon is her brother, right? Tamar is the sister. So he's telling her to bring the food into the chamber. All right. And when she had brought them unto the eat, he took hold of her and said to her, come lie with me, my sister. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for such a thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not do thou I mean, and do not thou this folly. And I whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. And now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he would not withhold me from thee. So she's saying, look, brother, don't force me to have sex with you because I would be
Woo!
ashamed and you would be a fool of Israel when we could just go to the king and he will allow you to have me. Okay, this is what she's saying to him.
Woo! Hey,
How bet? Uh huh. Yeah, you
I
go.
got one question. Hey man, did I help create this monster that you become?
Yeah,
Did I help inspire this?
yeah.
Woo! Fire.
And he said, how be it he would not hearken unto her voice, but being strong that she forced her and lay with her. Now this is we talking about the grape. Then Ammon hated her exceedingly, so that he hatred within, I mean, with he hated her was greater than the love where he had for her. And Ammon said unto her, rise and be gone. So I mean, he took it. I mean, he took it. He said, get out of my face, get out of my bed now. All right. So, and she said unto him, there is now cause this evil is sending me away is greater than other than thou didst to me. So she's saying you send it. She said by you sending me away, this is a greater punishment to me than what you just did to me in the bed because of
Woo!
because how I'm going to be looked at. So she said the way the
Woo!
nation is going to look at me is worse than what the grape that you did to me in this bed.
Boy,
Okay.
did I inspire this type of research?
Yes.
My
All right.
goodness, I'm about to start doing the Holy Ghost. Hey, I should have that clip in the background, man. Every time something like this happens, I just start jump up and start dance. We
so
have a church.
so he
You gonna
says
get the real word of God over here.
so she said unto him, there is no cause. This evil is sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst to me. But he would not hearken unto her. Then he called his servant that ministered unto him and said, put now this woman out from me, and bought the door after her. Right? So 2 Samuel 13:19-28. And Tamir put ashes on her head, and rent her garment of divers colors, and was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. And Absalom Her brother said unto her, have Ammon thy brother been with thee? Behold now thee peace, my sister, he is thy brother, regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate, and her brother Absalom house. But when the king David heard of these things, he was very
Ooh,
wroth. And Absalom spoke unto his brother Ammon, neither good or bad, for Absalom hated Ammon because he had forced his sister Tamar. And it came to pass after 2 years that Absalom had sheep shears in Baal Hazor, which is
yes.
beside Ephraim, and Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold, now thy servant have sheep shears.
Uh-huh.
Let the king besiege thee, and his servants go with the servant. I mean, go with that servant. And the king said unto Absalom, nay, my son, let us not all go now. Now go, lest be the chargeable unto thee. And he pressed him.
Yes.
Howbeit he would not go, but bless him. Then Absalom, if not, I pray thee, let my brother Ammon go with us. And the king said unto him, why should he go with thee? But
Mm-hmm.
Absalom pressed him, and he let Ammon and all the king's sons go with him. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now, when Ammon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say unto you, smite Ammon, then kill him. Fear
Yes.
not, have not I commanded you? Be courageous and be vigilant. I mean, violent.
Now, do you see how, Eric, how this kind of ties in with the very first lesson you dropped?
Yeah,
Right here, where where the Most High sent somebody to do something to somebody, and
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. So the people who's listening to us, the other brother of Tamar, saying that our brother took your virginity by force. King David found out, so they all planned on going out of the tent of the city, and they replaced Absalom with Ammon, and then they ordered them to kill him once he became drunk because of the punishment of what he did to the sister.
wow, amen. So you can see how it goes all back into what I was saying. How now that was at a time when they was already had the nation already. The law
Yeah,
had already long been established, and that's that law at play.
yeah,
You know, that's that's a working model. You hear how the atheist Sebastian Cole says, "Well, can you show us a working model?" JJ supposed to, okay, let's talk about rape. Boom, 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 and then he go right here to this scripture. This scripture is a working model of that law.
yeah, yeah,
That's why they don't. Sebastian Cole also had me flagged on TikTok. See, them guys don't want to talk to me. I make atheists sound stupid.
yeah. Sebastian
Yeah.
Cole, I see you on TikTok. You talking mad. You don't really want real Israelites that really know how to study. Bastion, people like Mark Muda. Why you know you don't want it. I remember I was on Lansdowne. What you do? You ain't want it. When JJ tried to pull me up, you was like, no, no, I'm trying to talk to JJ because I came at you. You see what I'm saying? So y'all atheists.
Sebastian try to act like he don't know me, but I got video
Oh
I
yeah,
got a
yeah, yeah,
video.
yeah.
I got a
Sebastian, yeah,
video of
Sebastian
me
to
and
come on
him.
Lansdowne.
I got a video of me and him going at it on lines then, but he tried to act like he don't know me.
Yeah, I be seeing Sebastian on TikTok talking that crazy
But I
stuff.
got you on tape, nigga. That shows the fakeness of you guys, man.
Yeah,
Because what Black Jesus Minister said, I'm the guy that these people would love to forget, brother.
yeah,
And guess what? That's all right because I'm training up two more soldiers. Oh, we got another one that came in last night.
yeah,
I'm training up soldiers. Since y'all don't want to deal with me, that's all right. That's all right. I'm training up some soldiers, and y'all gonna have to face the truth, brother.
yeah,
And look at this soldier right here. This soldier over here just doing damage. Eric, you over here doing damage, major damage. This here is a classic. This is classic because this here talks about this. This here is the most detailed breakdown of that law that I have ever heard in my life.
appreciate it, appreciate it.
And I'm talking about over any Israelite, including my leader and teacher, Ben Ami. And
Appreciate
I'm
that.
telling
That's
you.
a yeah. That's a great. That's. I mean, yeah. That's
But
a
this is
great
what happens.
compliment.
This is what happens because you appreciate me and you listen to me and you respect me. And like I told Yael last night, if you fall up under me, watch how the Lord bless you, brother.
Yeah.
The Lord gonna bless you, and you're gonna be a monster, bro. You're gonna take this life, the bull by the horns in this life, because you know who you are. You know your power. You know your Elohim, your Elohim. You know your Elohika.
Yeah.
You know your power, your God, your strength, your might. You're not praying to something to come inside of you. You're praying for something to grab hold of you from
Yeah.
the inside of you.
Yeah.
Because you're praying to unleash the beast.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They have tamed a giant, man. They've tamed a monster. And the nature of that monster is to be a monster, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the servants, and this Samuel 13, 2 Samuel 13, 29, 35. And the servants of Absalom did unto Ammon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man gat up upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass while they were in the way that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom have slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. So that he came, they killed all the king's sons too. And then the king arose and tore his garments and slay and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. And Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, answered and said, Let not my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's sons, for Ammon only is dead, for by the appointment of Absalom that has been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore let not my lord the king take thine take the thing to his heart to think that all the king's sons are dead, for Ammon only is dead. So okay, he thought King David thought they killed all the kings when they supposed to only kill Ammon, and then David came, son or brother came and said no, they did not kill all the kings. They only killed Tamar for what he did to his sister. Okay, so this is what it's saying. Now therefore let not my lord the king take the thing to his heart to think all the kings are dead, for Ammon is only dead. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hill beside him. And Jonadab said unto the king, Behold, the king's sons come, and as that servant said, so it is. Okay, so they're saying the king's sons came back and he seen them and said, See, they didn't kill him. So because it was a plan only to kill Ammon, and King David thought they messed up and killed everybody. All right. So also note that the penalty for having sex with an unbrotheled virgin is completely different from the penalty for sex with married or brothel women. Sex with a married or brothel woman is adultery and was to be punished by the death of both if consensual, or the death of the man if it was rape. So what they're saying is, if a virgin and the man
Hey,
enticed her,
and that's the same
uh,
thing I said earlier. And that's it.
yeah.
Go ahead,
So
E.
if a virgin and a man enticed her, and both of them are found laying down, she let him entice her, he should marry her and pay the father. If a woman is married and he enticed her, and both of them are found that he didn't force her, that both of them be punished. If she's married and he forced her, or she's not married and he forced her, the man gets punished. So it's
If
all
you
relies on, but both
if
of
you
them
don't
have done.
understand the marriage, if you don't understand the marriage laws and the Zana laws like this to the letter, then you don't read your Bible. If you don't understand it just like this, you don't read the scriptures because he reading it to you right there.
Yeah,
It's funny how You all marriage laws, you all's sexual laws, do not, none of y'all mimic this what the scripture says. None of y'all. What mimics the scriptures is what we're telling you. We got the proof right in front of your face. You still there, E?
Yeah, so that was the part of understanding. So again, understand if a woman is a virgin and a man entices her means put game on her, entice her to have to lay down with her, and they're both found laying down, and she lets him, he has to marry her and pay the father. If she is married and he enticed her, the woman and the man is punishment of death. If he grapes her and she's married, or grapes her if she's not married, then he is put to death. So he does not condone, or the nation of Israel did not condone grape, because they had a punishment for grape, they had a punishment for adultery, and they had a punishment for when you entice the woman without marrying her first.
But see, you see these guys, the comedics, the Sinettas, and all of those guys that run with them, and they be cock jocking them. You know what I'm saying? All of those guys,
Yeah,
man. Do you see how how off their English is? They do you see how off their assessment of English is? This
yeah,
English, the only
yeah,
language that you know.
yeah.
But you want to sit up there and tell me something about Kemet.
Exactly.
Your English, your assessment of English is off. And
Yeah,
I'm certain your assessment of Kemet is off as well. And I
yeah,
challenge any one of y'all of that. And y'all know it. And that's why y'all don't really, that's why y'all be on pins and needles when I come around. I land.
yeah. So yeah, I want y'all to go back to the video if you ain't watched the whole thing. Go back, into the purgatory prayer. To understand that purgatory prayer was against oppression and enemies. That we did not just go around again. We did not go around taking kids and bashing them against rocks. Okay. Secondly, the Most High did not condone rape.
Oh,
He,
but we will, though. We
yeah, I
will.
mean, yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. I mean, we
Yeah, we
will do it
will. Don't get
against
it
our
twisted.
enemy, against our enemies. That we do it in a justification, in a
Yeah,
righteousness, not in just
yeah.
being a
Self
violent
defense.
people. Yeah,
Self defense.
yeah, yeah,
What are you
and
talking about? Self defense.
yeah,
We're doing it self
yep,
defense, and ain't ashamed, and it ain't ashamed to do it, right?
yeah, yeah, yep. But they trying to make it seem like we just all of a sudden the Most High said bash kids' heads against a rock. That because what happens is they just take verses and try to make an agenda of it instead of reading the whole thing and understanding what is the meaning of this and what happens. Every time they pull out a verse, all you gotta do is read the front. I mean, the beginning of it and the front of and the behind it, and you can see the wait a minute. They ain't tell the truth on this. That's why when
Yeah, a lot
like
of these guys ain't. A lot of these guys be like acting like they were drug dealers and all of this stuff in the streets and all of that. But y'all guys ain't never been in the type of drug dealing that they went on in Detroit, where there were shootouts and all of that. Because if you ever been in those types of beef and shit got thick, you prayed to God, bro.
yeah,
You hear me?
yeah,
You ain't never been in a car like me and the whole car got shot the fuck up
yeah,
with you in it. And a bullet blew the whole fucking windshield out just right behind your head.
yeah,
Man, I prayed, man. You hear me?
yeah,
I prayed.
yeah, yeah. I
These
understand.
people, I don't understand these people, bro. And I prayed for my safety, and I also prayed against my enemy, man. Get them to stop.
Yeah, and some of the hardest prayers is people that's in them prisons, in them jails. They think they just criminals and evil, man. Most of them people that's in there is the hardest prayers you ever meet.
A lot of them people have killed people praying to God.
Yeah,
These people here doing this to me, Lord, and I ain't got no help.
yeah,
And then and His Holy Spirit came upon them and stopped their enemy, either
yeah,
through them or their friends or something else.
yeah,
See, the power of prayer is powerful. You know
Oh yeah,
about
who
meditation?
you said about the dude? Because we supposed to have spoke on it. The dude who want to speak, who want to debate Yasha. You know, yeah. If you
Oh yeah,
find
you
we
got
find
y'all
a
got Davion from over there at Tour Nights. He wants to
okay,
debate me with all this pseudo information and misunderstood, very, very poorly parsed scripture
yeah,
interpretation. Horrible. You hear
yeah,
me? With no historical facts and all bogus interpretation. And this clown wants to debate me. You
yeah,
understand? He wants to debate me over because he said that it's a biblical fact that Esau is the white man. Oh my goodness! Hey, you have never heard that before outside of bogus cultish Israelites.
yeah.
You ain't
As a
never heard nobody say that. Out of all of the academia that has been going on all around the world, a cult bring forth the idea that Esau's the white man, and you all accept that shit as the truth. A
yeah,
cult.
and
You didn't learn
it's
this in
foolish that we
school.
keep it's foolish that we keep debunking these things and they keep trying to bring it up.
You didn't learn this from school. I've showed y'all on this channel that I've learned that we was Israelites in school. I
Yeah,
showed y'all that I learned that Africans created America. I learned this in school and I showed y'all this.
yeah,
That shit that they talk about, they never taught that in no college, no university, no elementary school, junior high school, or none of that.
yeah,
Because it's not scholarship and it's not academia. That shit is pseudo history, pseudoscience, and pseudo archaeology.
yep,
And that's all that comes from them. That's why Sinetta run with these guys. They all fucking pseudo.
yeah.
All of them.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You go to biblical way. Y'all should go tear you up, and if you go to science way, I'm gonna tear you up. So
Dude,
I was asking to back off.
them dudes can't strike a match to us, bro.
Yeah,
Have y'all ever seen me get down on Sinetta show, man, and all of the goofy shit they do and get the trembling in their boots because I'm on stage, bro?
yeah,
Huh?
yeah. Oh yeah,
They can't even have a solid program. It just turns into the goofy show.
yeah. Cause he don't want the Israelite to know how to really answer and to really show scripture and teach. He want the people that makes us look like fools.
Hey, but didn't I bust their ass over there though?
Yeah.
Didn't I do my thing over there
As
though?
much as you bust the ass as much as you could without him trying to interfere.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I could have turned the power all the way up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But just as little as I did, I tore their ass up. Just that little bit. Nice, real tactful. Wasn't
yeah,
disrespectful. Wasn't even aggressive. Almost like a little lamb, wasn't I?
yeah.
Unbelievable.
And understand, we was the reinforcers for them lions den people. We was the ones that they called up. Not these people
Yes,
that they
we were
pulling up
the
now.
we was the internet monster crew.
Yeah.
this is
These
this is
people they trying
Yasha.
to group up now. No, they not it.
This is Yasha Ben Israel's monster squad.
Yeah.
Oh boy, my training, something else, boy.
So yeah, so we gonna keep doing more lessons and lessons. I think my next lesson I want to do. I think I ain't put on your show yet. I wanted because I seen you put up a post about it. And I got a presentation on it about they how they saying Moses is Aten Ra.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm showing.
we about
Yeah,
me and
I
Mike.
got
Me and Mike actually was supposed to do that yesterday.
I got a whole presentation on it and showing how what critics say they're similar and what they saying is not similar, and why they saying he might be and why they saying he not. So I'm showing both sides of why they saying he ain't and why they saying he is. So that's gonna be a great show too.
Oh man, yeah, I did. Yeah, so yeah, me and Mike was already had a show planned, and see how the Lord worked. My
Yeah,
uncle Tommy Whitfield made a song. That's how the Lord works.
yeah, yeah,
That's just like God. Hey, and I love gospel music, brother,
yeah.
because real, the real people that believe in God, they was putting their soul in that music, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. My mom.
Now
I
all this
mean,
fake
yeah,
shit going on today. You know,
Yeah,
them artists back in the day, them old school gospel artists, oof.
yeah,
And they put the scriptures in there.
yeah,
You know, but I ain't here to talk about that. But yeah, man, that's how the Lord works, man. That's just how He works, Eric.
yeah. I got
It's
it.
just
I
how He
got it.
works.
All
He
we
all of
gotta
a
do is put
sudden,
it on.
here you come with the missing piece of the puzzle that I didn't have. That would have made it.
Yeah,
You come with not only the icing to the cake, but the extra ingredients.
yeah,
Y'all stay tuned because I believe tomorrow we're going to make that happen.
yeah. We can do that. I already got it made. I
Yeah.
already got it created. Everything.
You be free tomorrow?
Well, I get off at 6, so we don't do it till later on anyway. So
Cool. So what time?
yeah, we can do it at 7.
Yeah. So hey, get back with us same time, Stacy. Yeah, we back over here at 7, y'all. We got a great show coming over here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Is have they have the archaeologists have they found Moses in Egypt?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be hot. You know, because like I told, I always told you, man. There's always two sides of science.
yeah,
You know, and guys like Mudawar is so stupid. They want to sit up there and say that the Exodus have not been proven, and it has. You just
yeah,
don't accept
yeah. I got a presentation on the Exodus too. So
it. Yeah, and I've seen it demonstrated clearly enough
yeah,
to where I'm convinced that the biblical story is
yeah.
accurate.
I seen the science on why they said the Exodus happened and how it could have happened. So I got a presentation on that. So like I said, I got presentations in the I got bullets in the holster. I mean, I got bullets in the clip. A gun in the
Hey,
holster. So
hey, why you ain't say nothing earlier, man? We should have been cut off.
yeah,
I just went
yeah.
through about a 2 or 3 month hiatus.
Yeah, I got the whole thing about the Exodus, about the date where it's supposed to happen, of what area he crossed over, how science says how actually
What
open up.
Pharaoh?
Yeah, yeah, and how he got to how he crossed a certain area that he knew from where he was at in Egypt that a certain thing happens to where he was able to cross over. So it's a
They
good
have to
breakdown.
keep telling black people finding out they Israelites. They have to make that story a myth, man. Because
Yeah,
if they sat up there and put that out here that this possibly could be real, man, you think you're gonna have black people walk around here like Fred Sanford was? I'm King Sanford.
yeah, and I'm talking about the three Semitic groups that actually went into. So I'm talking about the Sashu people that went into Egypt. I'm gonna speak on the people that they send they left from Canaanite. I forgot it's a Sashu, the Hyksos, and there's another people. It's three different groups of Shemetics that went into there, and they're saying these actually three Shemetics people actually could be a piece of this one story. So I mean, it's a good breakdown. We go
Yeah,
break
you
that
got the
down.
Amaru, which were the Amorites that's recorded in Egypt.
Yeah,
You got a lot of different societies that are recorded in the Bible that are recorded in Egypt.
yeah. People don't even know Canaanites was actually in Egypt at one point in time, and then left out of Egypt.
Yeah, the Kanaani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I
I
mean,
mean,
so that presentation would be deep. Yeah, I should have
yeah.
did that one too. So
And the thing about the Egypt would be the black supremacist lie. You know, there was at early black Egypt was black. You
yeah,
know, but man, the Egypt that most of these people talk about, they don't even know the black Egypt. That stuff. See, that's when we talk about just like who was that on there? Somebody came on South Show. They're talking about Egypt. Right.
um,
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I
Clyde
was.
Winter. I know Clyde Winters was just on there.
Yeah, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about something else. I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
about it wasn't on another show. It's another show. I saw Ashwa Kwesi debunking Walter Williams. They're two chemists now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't quite debunk him. He said
You
he's
sure?
right.
I didn't think Walter Wills was an Egyptian.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Ashwa Kwesi is a big Kemetic teacher too. You know, I actually cracked his motherfucking head, man.
No, I didn't know what Walter Williams was though.
You didn't know he was Kemet?
No, because I thought he always talked about Kim. How Kim ain't like
Yeah, he's straight
they don't
Kemet.
know the language.
He said
Oh,
we the
okay.
sons and daughters of Egypt.
Oh, I ain't know that.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, it's but Ashwa Kwesi, and I kind of agree with Ashwa Kwesi. You know, Ashwa Kwesi said Walter Williams is right, but he's not all the way right. I agree with it some, but not all the way.
Yeah,
Ashwa said that the Egyptian writing has been deciphered. He said, but all of it hasn't been deciphered. And basically, what the reality is, all of this black stuff, like in the Nubians and the way back, that
yeah,
stuff has been deciphered because that
yeah,
language has been lost. You see,
yeah,
so all of the pro black stuff that they acting like they know, the real black Egypt they don't know. That's the stuff that has not been deciphered.
yeah,
You see, the stuff that has been deciphered is the stuff that is more recently. You know, the more recent stuff. You know, because it had connections to languages what they could decipher it from. Like
yeah,
the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone had the shit in Greek, then it had it in all of the different versions of fucking Egypt. But that Greek was the tool used to transport it. You dig what I'm saying? So
yeah,
there is other languages out here where you know what I'm saying, and the shit where they able to track the more recent, you know, Egyptian empire. But when you going all the way back and the further back you go, the further back you go, that's the stuff that hasn't been deciphered. And
yeah. You
what's important,
talking about the old kingdom? Yeah,
yeah, and what's important about it, all of the pro-black stuff, all of the when the black was supreme, that's the
yeah,
stuff that has not been deciphered. While these
yeah,
Negroes acting like they got Kemet on lock. You don't have your version of Kemet. Your version of Kemet is the secret.
yeah,
You see, your version of the key is what's being studied, and it when and as if it has been deciphered, you'll never get that.
yeah.
You're going to get the shit after it got watered down and other races they
That's what
got.
I'm saying. They trying to make it seem like it's been the cipher. Cipher just mean they understood what the language means now, but it's still translated too. So it's a cipher and translated. So they cannot. None of them can go up to them walls and read that shit without reading the English and the Greek translation of it. So they
You know,
have to. They still are reading a translation of the Moneta. And like you said, just like the Bible, if they don't, these
it's
people
not
can't understand
it's not
English.
the purest of the Kemetic language.
Yeah, it's a translated version. They reading the translated version of it.
Yeah, see, you getting like I say, well, you getting a version of the Kemet, but at that time, Egypt had already been dominated by Greece. That's
Yeah,
how that paper, that's how that Rosetta Stone got there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Rosetta Stone is no. What I'm saying is the Rosetta Stone is no different than them translating the Bible from Hebrew to Greek. It's the same thing.
Yeah, or
It's
English or
basically
any other language. Yeah, you know,
yeah. But
you have
you can go into the Hebrew. Like you can go into the Hebrew. You can actually read the Hebrew without the English translation. None of them can do that.
Hey man, that's kind of
They are
crazy, bro.
they going to the translation. They gotta go. They going back with the
I'm saying
translation
that
says.
if they that weak, then they need to just shut the f up when it comes to
Yeah,
Israelite scholars.
yeah.
You Negro, okay, I'm gonna tell you who's pretty good, but he still don't have that black supremacist Egypt knowledge, bro, because it's lost. And that's
You talking about
I like Smash,
yeah, smash,
but
yeah.
he's still
At least
biased.
he try at least he tries. You know, that's I like to
I
give him. At
mean,
least he tries.
you can tell he puts in the homework.
Yeah,
You know, he's just not a guy like Jabari out here just putting his spin on shit.
yeah. But I'm telling you right now, if you put you put a holograph book in front of him, ain't none of them niggas can't none of them read that shit.
Hey, I made sure I went over there and put in the comments, and I hope
Yeah,
Walter Williams see this so he can know what he's dealing with. Right?
yeah,
You got Walter Williams over there proving that the original stock that came here were the blacks. He
yeah.
going through history. He going all through there. You dig what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
you
he
talking about
said,
Clyde? You talking about Clyde Winners, right?
yeah, Clyde Winters. Yeah, I said
Yeah,
Walter Williams. All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, Clyde Winters. Yeah, Clyde, man, Clyde breaking it down. Basically, Jabari over there fighting against the Aboriginals saying we couldn't possibly be this. This Negro don't have no degrees in no type of historic nothing,
Yeah,
right? But you got Walter Williams, not Walter Williams, Clyde Winters over there saying that we are those people.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
he
you
did
ain't that the dude you big? Ain't that the one you took a picture with?
always talk about, yeah. He was the one
Yeah.
to talk about. He talk about all them people. You might kind of not like him because he one of them people. He proved it's his shit. He one of the people to say that the original not the Anglo Saxons, the original British were black.
I can see where he got it from.
Yeah,
I can
and
see why he
he
says
the
it.
one, he the one who remember I was telling you about Jamestown and how the original black monarchs were the first slaves sent over here to England to Jamestown, and they were black folks. But
I'm
those people were the actual King James and them actually were the black stewards. That shit Walter Williams has solidified. I didn't agree with that at first. But when I heard Walter Williams break down, and then I began to listen to other people that's been saying this, and then it started to make sense.
I mean, I can see why would people would think that, but to say that everybody was just black and all you black people came over here, I don't agree with that. I think it
Right.
could have
He,
been a
he said
mixture.
that there was a war between the blacks and the whites. And the black and the whites, the Anglo-Saxon, the white Anglo-Saxons had beat the black stewards. And you know how that happens. They conquer the land and you go off into slavery. And that's how
I
it's
mean,
actually a real event in history where that took place. Now, to say whether they was white or black, that's the argument. But this did happen. A one group of people overthrow another group,
yeah,
shipped King James in them. They overthrew King James in them and shipped their ass over here to America, and that started the slave trade.
yeah. I understand what they're saying, but like I said, when I went to the Jamestown, it specifically said the European, and then it said the white Europeans were brought over here too. You know what I'm saying? It
So,
just
so,
wasn't. But
so, so,
they didn't stay. They didn't come a lot. I mean,
but,
it didn't
but,
last long.
but I'm saying that plaque did validate that story as a real event, though, right?
Yeah. No, it didn't talk about. It didn't speak on that part of the war. It just spoke on. That's what I said. It could have
No,
been
no, but
another.
it talked about the event,
Yeah, yeah.
the war
That's
that
what.
caused. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The event, the war you talking about, might be a whole other time than what I'm talking about.
No,
So it could have.
it was a war that took place that caused that to happen. I
Yeah,
forget the name of the war.
but yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying the event I'm speaking of didn't talk about the war. It only talk about when they came over here. They brought it was poor European white people that they brought over here first. That's what I'm saying. The incident you might be talking about might be before that. You know what I'm saying? And then later on this happened. But at a certain time, they tried to bring the poor white people over here to
no,
help
but
with the
I mean, yeah,
settlement.
I hear what you're saying, and that's the way that they teach it in school, right?
Yeah,
Clyde Winters is saying different. Clyde Winters is saying what I'm saying.
but that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying what Clyde Winters is saying. I take that back.
But yeah, what I'm saying is he might be talking about another event that
No,
happened
he's talking about
maybe
the same
before.
event.
But this event ain't talking about a war. This event only talking about
Yeah,
them coming over here
yeah,
bringing poor
yeah,
people
but
with
yeah,
them.
it only talk about what happened after. It's doing what it did to us as African Americans. They talk about us after the slave ship. They don't talk about what happened that caused us to get on them fucking ships.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to really be a real historian to really know that.
I mean,
They don't teach you.
I'm saying it might didn't be either. It might have been a mixture of them. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a mixture of white and
I
black
mean,
people.
well, I'm not even going to even argue that. It
Yeah,
may
that's what I'm
have.
saying. It might have been a mixture.
That's
You know what I
that's
mean?
not even that's
But
not
but
even
what I'm saying is when he did bring them, it didn't last long because
that's not a
them people
contention
stopped
with me. But
because them people
what I
stopped
do
migrating over here.
what the part about white people even coming here is the idea that they teach. What they don't teach is that black monarchs was on that ship. That's what they
Yeah,
don't teach.
yeah.
And that's what Clyde teaches.
Yeah, because
You saying white and blacks were on there. That may have been the case, but the way that these people are teaching this stuff in history, they excluding the blacks.
yeah, yeah. But see,
You know,
this is what I'm trying to tell people too. Like it didn't last long when they did it because these people stopped migrating to America. That's why they started taking people from other places. But
Yeah,
what I'm
because
saying is,
they didn't get rid of the whole black population. They just
yeah,
got
yeah,
rid of the monarchy.
yeah. So
So
what I'm saying is,
you looking at the king, his whole what they call that the president have, his whole staff, his whole regime that he bring with him.
yeah, yeah.
You
But
know,
see,
that's them the motherfuckers they got rid of.
see, this is what I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to tell people too, right? Even when we see when we talk about a nation of people like the European, right? The nation, we got to understand that everybody that was white in Europe was not living good, right? So people was poor. It was poor. It was more poor people than rich people in Europe. The only people that was living
Yeah,
good was the royalty, right? So when they
yeah.
came over here on Jamestown, it tells you 500,000 European white people came over here. Only like 25, 30,000 of them was actually like the slave master and the people who benefited off the slave trade. The rest of them was what you would call servants and
Now,
indigenous servants and stuff.
now, Jamestown is not the Pilgrim event, is it?
Jamestown
That's
is no
the Pilgrim
Jamestown is when the Jamestown is when the company the company of London, Virginia came.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that okay, you familiar with the story about the Pilgrims coming here too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are not the same events, are they?
No, I think they went to let me think. Is it little? Is rock? Is it? Hold on. I'm thinking
The
maybe.
Jamestown may have preceded the other event. The
I
Jamestown, if I'm
mean,
not mistaken, was first.
I know it's in Virginia. I just gotta remember
And
where it was.
then,
Let me see.
yeah, I think Jamestown was first, and then I think the other event, the Pilgrims came after.
Where did the Pilgrims Pilgrims land?
Because Jamestown was like in the 1600s.
Um, the at Plymouth. Oh, so that's why what you call it said Plymouth Rock didn't land on us. We landed on Plymouth Rock.
So those two different events then, because those two different
Yeah,
places.
this was 1620, but the Jamestown was
So,
before this.
so
Jamestown was
yeah, so
1614.
Jamestown opened the door for that.
Yeah, Jamestown was 1614. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's you looking at just a few years difference. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. So that was you might be talking about Plymouth Rock then.
No, I'm talking about Jamestown.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Jamestown was 1614 to 1620. The
yeah.
company, it was a company called Company of London, and
It's
that's
just
why.
it's just that you can see the conflict in history because Jamestown was the first a group of English people to come to the Americas like that, right?
Yeah,
But they'll tell you it was the Pilgrims.
yeah. Now,
You see
now
what I'm saying?
don't get me wrong because I agree with some of what they're saying because it is information in there that I had when they was talking about Black England, Black Europeans. So they were yes, Black Europeans was in
Yeah,
Europe.
and that was my only. I just wanted to pin that peg in there because that's the part that is being excluded from the history. In the telling of the history, you have to actually be a scholar and really read this shit yourself on a scholarly level, on a serious note. Thinking
As a matter
for
of fact,
yourself.
let me see if I can. Yeah, let me see if I can find that part because it did have a joint where Black Europeans was living in on James. I mean, in Europe
Well, I
at
seen
the
I
time. Let
seen
me
the ship
see.
records. I seen the records of the ships, and it told you the color of the people, the complexion. Some were black, some were tan, some were white. You know what I'm saying? Many were swarthy.
Yeah,
I seen it tells you all of the people, their names, all of that. You
that's
know,
why I said people get mad at me when I said it. It first was not about color. At first, it was about money. Everybody was getting put into this slave
yeah,
thing. It just became one people became worth more than everybody else, and
yeah.
then they became
But
taken
the
more. You
only
know what I'm
thing
saying?
that I keep putting that pin in there is that when we study this stuff in like on a high school level, the whole
Yeah,
idea of color ain't even in there.
yeah,
They tell it to us about I'm talking about when you start studying like English history on that level, you're not going to learn that the color of these people until you like up there in their doctorate degree level.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when you
Yeah.
begin to start learning the secrets. It's just like religion. You're not going to learn the stuff that we know until you take it on a serious level and learn the language.
Yeah.
You have to
And share my screen real quick.
when you start unfolding the language, then you'll see that shit spelled right out. And that's how it is in scholarship. When you start learning the stuff, the deeper your degrees go, the deeper and the more clearer you get into the science.
Yeah.
So when you get your like the doctor
Can you
degree,
share my screen?
yeah, when you get your doctor degrees and stuff like that, you notice you're able to have these type of conversations that we having. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is
Let
not
me know when
like
you share it.
This is not like Sinetta. When you seen us over here on this channel talk with people that have doctor's degrees, and we were schooling them, and they were in agreement with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas when you go on Sinetta channel, they always fighting against the scholars.
Yeah. 'Cause I want to show some stuff. I want to show a couple things because I don't want to make this too long. But this all right. This is Africans in Europe. Increasing numbers of Africans were present in England and in continental Europe in the 15th and 16th centuries. So this shows that before they became a Jamestown, yes, Black Europeans was there. While a few were royal ambassadors, the number of enslaved Africans in Europe was on the rise. Slavery in an ancient institution, both in Africa and Europe, took on a new global and racial dimensions of colonization of the Americans, coincident with new tender relations between Europe and Africa. By 1600, about 4,500 enslaved Africans a year were imported from Central Africa. By 1700, that number increased to 11,000. So it is saying that in Europe that it was people, black people in power in Africa, but it started becoming more of a enslaved people because of the money that was being benefited from the slave trade.
Wow.
Now, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Hey, but the
Let
beauty
me
is
see
that is that
what
you're
more.
you're 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 including the black part of history that been overlooked, man, and I appreciate that. Because I'm gonna tell you what made me such a great historian, and had gave me a passion for history. And when I didn't, and they taught us that we was nothing, man, chigaboos and all this
Yeah,
old goofy shit. You're nothing. You didn't build no societies. This is what the shit that they was propagating when I was born into this world, man. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when I went to school, I didn't want to learn nothing about no George Washington or that. I ain't got what that got to do with me,
yeah,
right? But when I learned that history had everything to do with me, then I became passionate with it. And so that's why I say when you show us our people in this history, and then we see we played a part in that, and so we know that really had a lot to do with us, instead of having nothing to do with us at all.
yeah. And see, right here, this is what I'm saying. See, what you talking about, I think, is before what I'm talking about. Cause see, this is saying by 1660s, because fewer English farmers and laborers were willing to immigrate to Virginia. Colonial landholders, landowners sought labor elsewhere by centuries, and a system of lifelong slavery provided additional labor needed for Virginia involving plantation society. So it's saying at first, so these people wasn't came when they came over here. The English people that I'm speaking of didn't come over here as slaves. They came over here as farmers to help establish the settlement. And then they stopped
Yeah, I
coming, and
don't.
then that's when they instituted the slave, bringing the people over as slaves.
So is that the same event as the Jamestown event?
Yeah, this later on though, this 1612. It's this got to be a little. This got to be after Jamestown, because Jamestown. Hold on, let me show you.
Yeah,
Because
I
cause
think
when I went to
Jamestown was that.
Jamestown,
Yeah, because I think Jamestown was the first a time that the first
let me
English
see.
colony that was set up over here. Because when they got here, they got to beefing with the Spanish and the French right away.
Trying to find out when I see, because I stood in front of the statue of when it said the year that they came.
See, they got the beefing with the Spanish and the French, and what happened was the English started immediately start trying to get cool with the Indians. You know what I'm saying? And was actually fueling a lot of the wars between
Yeah.
the Indians and the French and instigating. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so this, yeah, see, this is me right here standing in front of John Smith, where people mix up with John Rolfe. John Rolfe is the one who took Pocahontas to England. John Smith is the governor of Virginia. So people allow people mix these people up in history. Okay, so that's me putting my middle finger up to John Smith. Okay,
Yeah,
this is a statue of Pocahontas. All right,
it is like
let me see
mega
if I
hot.
can. Hold on, what happened? Oh, post. Let me go to post. Let me go to post. Cause I want to show some information before we go. Cause they actually doing archaeology work out there too. Like they digging out there.
Yeah. Hey, this is
Hold on,
extra.
that's
This
my
is
mama. No,
this is a
I
well.
don't
This
know where
boy done dropped like 3 lessons tonight.
they.
This nigga on fire. This
Ain't
boy
going a little bit
is
too
on
far. Let me see.
fire. This man is on
You gotta
fire.
watch Facebook. They try to take stuff. Yeah, Facebook try to take stuff from you. So let
Oh,
me
oh,
see.
oh, oh,
There's
oh.
one more I was trying
Okay.
to show.
Check this out. Since you said that, last night, right? YouTube, right? After we did the show
Yeah,
this morning, I woke up. It was like 25 views, right? So I played the video. It was 24 views. I played the video, so the number jumped up to 25. Then it dropped down to 24, right? Then it dropped down to
yeah.
22. Then it dropped down to 18. Then it jumped back up to 20. Then it jumped back up to 24. Do you see this stuff, bro?
Yeah.
That dude, they doing something to my channel, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now,
If they
hold
ain't
on.
doing
This is
nothing else, they algorithms got me on
this is
strong watch. You hear me, bro? We can't breathe, cough, or spit on this channel, bro.
yeah, yeah.
They're watching us that hard.
Oh no.
You take the numbers, then you put it back, then you take them, then you
Now I
put
want to
it.
show because I want to show people. Yeah. I want to show the people the I want to show the people the field work I've been doing, so people know that I actually this is what you call the Charlottesville Slave Trail. So this is where in Charlottesville where our people where the people came off the boats and went in the trail they went to in Charlottesville. So I went to that trail. This is Fredericksburg Slave Trail where the people went and they took them to Fredericksburg and they got off the boats and they had to walk these trails. So I walked the same trails that the African ancestors walked when they came off the boats. This is me at the Richmond protest. This is when I forget who well, somebody got killed. I can't remember who got killed when I was at a
Hey,
protest.
did you get off the boat? Did you get off the boat with the ancestors?
Um
No, I'm just talking shit. You doing all this goddamn
this is
research? Hey,
yeah,
did
this
you
is
take it
when
back that goddamn far? Oh,
yeah,
I'm
well
just
you
joking.
already know what that is. I ain't even that's the cookout I had with the Israelites of 2014. That's this the Ashland Slave Trail. So I've been in. They ain't showing all of them, but I went to the Charlottesville Slave Trail. I went to Ashland Slave Trail. I went to Fredericksburg Slave Trail. I went to Richmond Slave Trail. Then I went to Jamestown. I went to Yorktown. To study all that was going on. Um, oh yeah, you already know what that is. Oh, here go right here. Here go right here, y'all. This is the statue right here. This on Jamestown. It's called Virginia Company of London Chartered founded Jamestown, and sustained Virginia from 1607 to 1624. So Jamestown is the first sustained settlement that we had that they had in Virginia. That's the first sustained settlement. That's me right there standing in front of the statue. So when they saying Christopher Columbus came to America, that's a lie. All that bull. It was called the Virginia Company of London, and that's why this state right here is called Virginia. So it was actually a company of people. So when they try to make you seem, when they try to make it seem like it was these people that came over here who was all broke and poor, and they didn't know where it was going. This was a company of business or corporation that came over here and knew exactly what they was doing.
I see.
This is the archaeology they digging up right now inside the church.
I claim to be a scholar in history, but see, a scholar can be both a student and an expert, right? I don't claim to be the expert scholar. I claim to be a student scholar.
Yeah, yeah,
I claim to be a scholar as a student of history, and you can tell that when I brought up, wow, is the Jamestown event the same as when the Pilgrims came over in the Mayflower? You see, and see, that's a student of history would ask that. An expert would know that. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. And see, this is talking about the farming. Now look, you see what this Native American look like. This is the picture of Jamestown. You see this motherfucker look like right here. What did that look like to you?
That's a black man from what it looks like.
Exactly. That's an indigenous person right here. This is talking about the farming. It says even experienced farmers found they had much to learn to succeed in Virginia. Agricultural instructions from the Powhatan who shared their skills with the newcomers aided the English in the early years. People forget when they came over here, they was 300 deep. Only 30 survived. When they came over here, they didn't know how to really fish. They didn't know how to grow over here. They didn't know how to make shelter. So you telling me the same people that taught you how to make shelter lived in teepees? No, teepees was when these people were getting ambushed, they created a way to make mobile homes so they can grab everything and just dip. At first, these people were living in homes. They were
Now,
not living in teepees.
and that leads me to question, right? I've always heard that there was these great, magnificent societies over here as well as Africa. I'm talking about they had home.
Yeah,
Everybody didn't live in those huts, those straw huts. That's something that came much later after European colonialization. These people had fancy
yeah,
societies, houses, streets, blocks, roads. I'm talking about immaculate cities, right? I've seen the actual draw out of ancient African societies and heard stories about like how they actually had houses and all that stuff here and in Africa on both sides of the water, right? I wonder like really like what really happened to the. I mean, it's like it ain't no remnants of this stuff left.
yeah,
Now, Michael Shannon says that there is remnants of that stuff here. He said a lot of these old buildings and stuff that we have, like in New York, downtown Detroit, and Chicago. He said a lot of these buildings were actually buildings from those times.
yeah, yeah. They
You know,
are.
these real fancy buildings that they not able to reinvent today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Michael said.
When Cortez in the book of Cortez takes over the conquers the Aztecs, he wrote that when he first met the king, that this man whole walls, all his walls were made of diamonds. He had gold all on his necklace.
Mm.
He just they had so much diamonds and gold that it just didn't even make sense. They just had to rob him. Like it was just like it was like a rapper coming through the hood. This nigga just went outrageous. He's like, man, I got to get you got to get caught. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was just too much. It was too much for them to not think. You know what I mean? So, and this is another one right here: Virginia travel and trade. The Chesapeake Bay and the James York, Rappahannock, and Potomac rivers that flow into it became Virginia's primary routes of transportation. Colonists followed the practice of Virginia Indians by locating plantations and towns and close to nav- uh, nav- nav- navigable rivers and streams. Human commodities. as labor's intensive tobacco cultivation brought more wealth to some Virginian colonists, demand increased for both Europeans and Africans to work on the land. Governor Senior William Berkeley estimated that just prior to 1670, Virginia population included 6,000 indentured servants and 2,000 enslaved people. By 1700, the number of enslaved people of African descent in Virginia numbered approximately 5,000. Now, Virginia had the second biggest slaveholding, the second biggest people of the first beginning when the slaves came, and you telling me in 1700 it was only 5,000 people. See, that's the only reason I tell
Wait,
people that
now Chesapeake and all that's over like near y'all way, ain't it?
yeah, it's all Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yorktown. I've been to Yorktown. We've been to Chesapeake Bay. That's where people fish at. The Rappahannock. That's like I think that's Tidewater in them area. You know what I'm saying? That's like towards like the beach. I think, if I ain't mistaken.
Now how far is you from Baltimore?
Baltimore is
You're like
maybe
real far.
I ain't really been. I ain't really been to Baltimore because DC is like an hour, hour 20 minutes. Baltimore is past DC, so Baltimore, I guess I would say about 2 hours.
That's not that far. Yeah, that's not that far. You
Yeah,
looking at maybe a
nah,
couple hundred
Baltimore ain't too
miles.
far. No, Baltimore ain't far off from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's DC is mainly DC is mainly Northern Virginia. It's considered like Northern Virginia, but they split it up and made it. It's really not a state. It's called a district. So, but it's basically a
Yeah,
branch off. It's basically a cut off of Northern Virginia.
I heard that down in Baltimore they had something like that, a slave exhibit with going on there too, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Maryland, yeah, Maryland, because Maryland is really not up north, man. Virginia is like the first, I guess, is the first, the beginning of the South. We say, but Maryland is part of us too. But they split it from us. They made Maryland up north, but Maryland had it too. Maryland was part of the. Yeah, so Maryland, D.C., all the way to Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama,
Yeah,
Georgia,
so
Texas,
slavery,
Tennessee.
yeah, and Jamestown is in that area too, right?
Jamestown. I don't know if Jamestown going north. I don't know if that's going north or not. I can't. I don't think it is. I
So
think it's going
yeah,
to.
I want to find. I need to look at a map so I can designate Chesapeake area, right? Jamestown area and Plymouth Rock area. Those are three important areas that we talking about the early history of America. That I want to really brush up on and tighten up on my studies with.
Yeah, you said Plymouth Rock,
Yeah,
Jamestown, and
and
what else?
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake.
Like, how far are they all apart from each other? Like, I would like to see. It's like, is they like in the same like demographic? You know what I'm saying?
Let me see here. I think I got some right
Oh,
here.
we sure Chesapeake. Well, not really. We're not even sure of that.
What?
The Chesapeake and Jamestown is close. Where's
No,
Jamestown?
I don't think
That's Virginia
Jamestown
too.
is. Yeah, Jamestown is Virginia. Yeah,
So
that's
all of
probably
that's
like an
close.
hour. Yeah, that's
So
probably like an hour
so
away. But I think
yeah,
it's going the opposite way.
Chesapeake and Jamestown is not is not that far apart. So now we can figure out where's Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock is near like New York area.
No, Plymouth Rock is Virginia.
Oh, Plymouth
All
Rock,
that is
all of
Virginia.
that. Yeah, all that's the
Yeah,
same thing.
Chesapeake, Plymouth Rock, Jamestown, Yorktown, yeah, all that Virginia.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what the
Yeah,
same. Okay, okay.
Nat Turner, all that Virginia.
Hmm. So your
Because
area
Nat
is
Turner
where
went
it's
into
supposed.
Norfolk. That's like going towards the beach. Yeah,
Yeah, it would be pleasing to say that your area of blacks would probably have more Indian in them than any other people because y'all was the first people
yeah,
to come here dealing with that slavery system.
yeah, yeah. Chris Brown, granddaddy is Chief Powhatan.
Mm.
My people's is Pocahontas, Pamunkey, Chickahominy, and Matsapani. And
Yeah,
see, Powhatan, Powhatan is not just Powhatan Nation like Pocahontas. They are not just one people. They actually had 60 tribes. So Pamunkey tribe is part of the Powhatan Nation. So Powhatan Nation has 60 other nations under them.
I seen old dirty bastard grandfather, and he don't look like a black man.
Oh, you talking about the shitty cock?
Yeah, the one that was the Indian, and he looks like an Indian. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, shitty cock. Yeah,
he looks like he looks like what they would have portrayed to us as an Indian. Put it like that. He didn't look like
yeah.
no he didn't look
I
Negro
mean,
at all.
because that's why I was telling Divine Prospect when he tried to show South American Indians and try to say this is, and I said this is foolish to act like one people look like one thing, to
Yeah,
make it seem like they came over here, everybody just looked the same way. When we know
yeah.
Africans over here, we know.
You would think that old dirty bastard's grandfather would have been a black man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But that man was straight Indian dude. I mean, that guy talking
yeah,
about the straight hair.
yeah,
He had that Indian that he had that Indian redskin Indian look.
yeah. But
You know
see,
what I'm
but
saying?
see, like I said, the way it's set up, people only looking at tribes. Like I said, like the Powhatan. See, people had nations. See, they think. See, they call what the way they treated over here is like they're like how people because of the colonization and invasion,
Yeah,
a lot of tribes disappeared. So they'll look at it like it was just this tribe. But you got to understand, we had nations. So when the Powhatan nation, they had 60 other nations under them. So of course, them 60 people all didn't look alike. So you had people that look like us, then you had people that look like the Asian people, then you had people that look like you see what I'm saying? It
yeah,
was different forms of different people that everybody, and that's why it's so hard to do American history here because a lot of buildings is over top of Native American graves. A lot of that shit got covered up. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's really, really, really hard because you got 600 tribes that don't even exist no more because
yeah.
they
Because
just, you know what I
I
mean?
live right now on top of an ancient Indian burial
Yeah,
cemetery. This
yeah,
here, where we live at, is where all of the people was buried at during the wars.
yeah,
You know, like when the French and the Indian wars and shit like that.
yeah,
Yeah, these like how you said that a lot of that stuff we built over there. This here place that I'm actually living on is sitting right on the fucking top of one of those cemeteries.
yeah,
So how would you do the archaeology of that? You can't
yeah,
because they done dug this bitch up. They done took all the bodies out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You can't.
Oh, peace, Victor Emerson.
Oh yeah. Hey, peace, Emerson. And I want to say, if you're late, and to anyone that were latecomers, go back and watch the beginning of this video. Man, that Eric was bringing the heat. This stuff we listen to here, this is the simmer down.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is
This is a bonus.
yeah. This is the smoke after the fire.
Yeah,
You know, y'all want to see the fire? Go back and watch. Go back and rewind this damn video. This video, I am telling you, that the Zana laws has been broken down in a way, the best way that I have ever heard it in all scholarship. And I've studied scholars. You hear me? Y'all gonna have to go back
yeah,
and check this out. If y'all want to really, really learn some meat, go back and check out the beginning of this video. If you really want to know what the scripture says and have a real idea of how Hebrew law, the sex laws, and the marriage laws worked, and the rape and rape law and all of that, if you want to know how all of that worked, go back and watch the beginning of this video. Impeccable. I take my hat off to Eric. You
thank you.
know, I take my hat off to brother Eric. You know, I really, really do. That brother blessed my soul on tonight. You hear me? I almost wanted to turn back Pentecostal so I could do the Holy Ghost.
Yeah,
You know how when a preacher and they jump up and get in the church.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, we've been on here for 2 hours.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down, man. You know, I don't want to
yeah,
stay on too long, man. Tomorrow, if you like, well, we already got it set. Y'all come back over here tomorrow. We gotta. I think from the information that I've been looking over, tomorrow's show might be even better. I don't think. No, I don't think. If we could produce a better show than this one, man, that would be something. But tomorrow, man, just looking at the planned dialogue,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna have a fire show. We're talking about, did the archaeologists find Moses in
yeah,
Egypt?
yeah.
The answer to that question, come back over here tomorrow. Come back over here tomorrow at 7 p.m. That being stated,
I'm gonna make a flyer for that too. Yeah,
I'm so out of here. What about you, Ed? Close out, man.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy. You know, what I'm saying, like you said, come back to the videos. We gonna try to break some of the stuff down, put it on TikTok for y'all too, so we can keep it some of the part of the videos going that we want y'all to really listen to. But come back tomorrow. We go talk about was Moses. The archaeologists found Moses in there. I'm gonna break down some of the information why people are trying to compare Moses with Aten Ra, and see what critics say, see what people say that why he is, and people say why he not. So we go break it down like real scholars supposed to break it down, for bringing off both avenues and not just coming off a biased view. Then after that, we go break down the Exodus. And on another day, we go pick another day for that. So we got about the Exodus and what scholars say about the Exodus. We go talk about
So,
the people that came into it that might have been part of the Exodus, and influenced it. So we got a lot of
so
going on this week.
the research that you've done, right?
Hmm.
Did it match up with that one video that I have posted?
I ain't even see the video yet because I started work, so yeah, I
Yeah,
ain't even
I
get
hadn't
to watch
seen
it.
it.
I might watch it just
That's right.
for
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah, I
watch it
might
too
watch
because
it.
I posted it, and a lot of that stuff I post because I don't want to lose it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean,
So I
from my conclusion of listening, this is my conclusion. I must say I don't believe he was Aten Raw. I can see a lot of similarities to where
Hey,
maybe it's
now,
something.
well, I do know about the video, right?
Yeah,
Because Michael was telling me about it, and it was neither one of those. It wasn't Amin Ra. It wasn't Thutmose or Akhenaten. It was another guy.
yeah. This is Aten Raw.
Yeah,
Aten. Aten.
the
It's
guy
called
in
the
that video I posted is a whole nother guy, a
yeah,
guy who
yeah,
named I'm not even familiar. I can't even pronounce it. It's like a
yeah.
wild.
He created Atenism, and he created the one God system. But the one God system is based off the sun.
Yeah,
So
but
what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying that in that video that I posted, it's something totally different, bro. It
Yeah,
ain't
yeah. I
nothing.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
I don't know.
whole nother research.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Um,
know,
I
so
just I
if
I
it
just
don't
go
line
by that.
up with, I'm saying if it don't line up with yours, that would even be better because it shows different research.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You know,
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah. I think they try to mix them with a lot of different people. So I just chose that because I know that's I see. I go by what I try to see these atheists and what these people try to push. You know what
see
I'm saying? So when I
what's
see these
going
people
to
try to
happen
push,
is
I try to defend it.
what's going to happen is that we're just pulling out and putting everything else out on the table.
Yeah,
And you decide.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You decide. And that's just what I'm not going to decide for you. Hell, I'm not intelligent
exactly,
enough to
exactly,
decide for myself. I'm still trying to
exactly.
figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm gonna show the similar. I'm gonna show the similarities. I'm gonna show why they saying that it is him. Then I'm gonna show the people that saying why it's not him. I'm gonna show, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna show what. So I'm gonna show from both sides of scholarship of why these people saying he is and why these people saying he not. And then it's your more investigation on to determine is it is or not.
Yeah.
The same way I did with the King of Babylon, I did Nebuchadnezzar versus Nimrod, and I put both of their information together and see which one matches with the verse. You know what I'm saying?
But
And if
but
Nimrod became close, Nimrod won that verse. So I'm just letting y'all
yeah,
know.
but the actual whole verse is a taunt against the kings with an
Yeah,
S of
yeah,
Babylon. It was a taunt. It was like a song where they was taunting them.
Yeah,
Make a mockery of how they failed and died, and how they tried to come against Israel, and God struck their ass down for the most part.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
wasn't that's why and they wrote it like a poem, like a taunt, like a song.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't intended ever to talk about one particular one.
Yeah, I mean, well, from what I read on it, and that's why I was saying that some of the scholars say that Nimrod wasn't even a person; that it was basically a resemblance of a people. So even if it was based off Nimrod, it wasn't just based off of just one person; it was based off of people, like you said, that
Yeah,
of Babylon. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And see, because you got Tiglath-Pileser the third. I've read
Yeah,
stuff where he fit that. I've read Sargon. I've read things that Sargon did, but Sargon fits that.
yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know,
why I went. That's why I was gonna do a breakdown of just everybody. I did because I did Nebuchadnezzar and Nimrod, and I was gonna do
yeah,
Sargon and Nimrod, and I was gonna do like just break down different
yeah.
ones because
It's kind of like, okay, this part you'll see this here, this verse here. Okay, that's Tiglath-Pileser. Then you reading this verse. Oh, he got to be talking about Sargon in
yeah,
this
yeah.
verse. That's
Because
how.
I think Babel is actually where scholars are saying Babel is a certain building that in Nimrod time that supposed to have been created. You know what I'm saying? So I can show
See,
that
because
too one day.
the the Halel was the day star, and that was just the title for the kings of Babylon.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So that just wasn't no one person. And
yeah, yeah,
like I was saying, like I said, one verse might you hear like the part that we was talking about the worms, that took him to the grave. He might have been talking about this king. The part where he talked about that the trees is glad that this motherfucker did because he was a terrorist to the trees.
yeah,
Well, that might have been talking about Tiglath-Pileser. Okay, well he talked about this part right here. And it all was wrapped up into a song about the kings of
yeah.
Babylon.
See, me personally, I didn't really as far as when it came to stuff like Babylon and them, I didn't learn too much of that. So when I understood it was the king of Babylon, I didn't really understand it was a bunch of a whole different other kings because I never studied these kings. So the only person I really came up was with Nimrod. So from like when you saying that then I start understanding. Okay, it's other king. I knew it was other kings, but I never knew that people knew who they
Yeah.
were. You know what I mean?
A lot of
So
people, a lot of people that are novice, not that they're dumb, that
yeah,
they're not expert. They know something,
yeah,
but they're not expert. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
A lot of people that are novice, they understand that it's a king, but they think it's one.
yeah. Well, I
You know
mean,
what
I knew it wasn't one, but I just didn't know people knew. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought Babylon was always like a mystery as far as
Yeah. Because see, I've
people
heard
didn't
people
know all
argue.
the kings.
Who
Yeah.
was it? Was it Tiglath-Pileser the third? Was it Sargon? Was it Nimrod? I've heard people actually argue, but man, it was all of them. What are
See,
you
I
talking
never
about?
heard no tickler pillars. See, that's what I don't even know who that is. So
Man, most of that stuff fit Tiglath-Pileser the third.
yeah, I never heard of them before.
These are the people who conquered Babylon.
Yeah.
It was a host of them. First, it was they came under Sargon, and he died. And Tiglath-Pileser came after him, and
Cause
he
you, cause
died.
you know when I started studying, I didn't know Assyria and Babylon was so connected.
They the
They
same
down there,
thing.
yeah, that was it. They the same damn, they the same people.
Yeah, Babylon, Mesopotamia, all that's the same
Yeah,
shit.
I thought they was all different. Then when I started, I said, "What the fuck? The Mesopotamia, Assyria, and the Babylon's the same. They worship the same gods and
Iraq,
culture."
Iraq, the
Yeah,
same shit. Yeah, all of it the same thing.
I said, "Damn, that's crazy."
Yeah. Now, the ancient Assyria was more closer to Babylon and Iraq than it is the Syria today.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that. Like when you read in history and they talk about Sudan, man, that's not the Sudan of today.
no,
The
yeah,
Sudan
no,
that they're talking about in history was way over in West Africa.
yeah. They talking about the Cushites and
Yeah, like when you read in the Arabic records, when they're talking about Bilal and Sudan, they talking about West Africa, the Congo and
yeah, yeah,
Nigeria and all up down up in there. They ain't talking about the Sudan of today.
yeah,
That's a new Sudan.
yeah,
That's a new Sudan that was rebuilt after the dividing of the Berlin at the dividing of Africa at the Berlin Conference.
yeah. Yeah, just like I heard. I mean, from what I'm hearing, the
Oh,
Ethiopian
Ghana
ain't
the
the same.
same way too. The Ghana of today ain't the Ghana that you read about in history.
I mean, I'm hearing. I mean, I don't know, but I'm hearing Ethiopia ain't the same ancient
Yeah, the
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia ain't the same Ethiopia that you read about in history.
Cause they call
Yeah.
themselves Semitic. They call themselves Semitic people today when actually in the Bible they was Hamites.
Well, they is Semitic people today because what happened was that you can look at the people and tell, like Haile Selassie and all of the
Yeah, yeah,
Egyptian, the Falashan Jews and all of them people, what they call them, the Tigrians
yeah,
and
yeah.
the
The Tariq,
Himyarite.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, all of them are Semitics. All of them actually are the original Saudi Arabians.
yeah,
And see, what people fail to realize is that the Arabs, before they was Muslim, they were Christian. You
yeah,
see, the real House of Saudi was black Christians. And when Islam came on the scene, Islam ran their ass up out of there and they ran into Africa.
yeah,
They ran them out of Saudi Arabia, Yemen. They ran them out of all of that area because the language that they speak, you study the history of the language, that's pre-Arabic.
yeah,
That's old. That's the old original Arabic, which is not even related. It's related because it's a Semitic language, but it's a totally different language than the Arabic of today.
yeah,
That language that they speak in Ethiopia, that's the Arabic. That's the original Arab language. Those people are Semites. They are the original Arabs. Now,
yeah,
what is an Arab? An Arab is a mixed people. They part Egyptian, part Ethiopian, part Israelite, part Ishmaelite. That type of thing. They
yeah,
different lines of black people who lost their lineage, so they just Arab. They just mixed. They mixed
yeah,
with all different kinds of black lines.
yeah,
Notice when the mixed multitude came out of Egypt, the scriptures said that the Hebrew text didn't say mixed multitude. It said Arab, which means the many Arabs or the many mixed people.
yeah,
That's why it's translated as mixed multitude. Arab means mixed, the mixed people. They didn't have a straight line. They were so mixed up. We just call them Arab. Later, we called them, and later on in Hebrew history, we just called them, after we built our nation. Before we built our nation, we called those people Arab. After the nation was built and we set up our law and we was forbidden to sleep with them, then we start calling them Mamzers.
yeah.
You know.
But yeah,
Yeah,
we
man.
let's get off this shit. Yeah, I'm about to say let's get off this. I don't want it too long, but then ain't nobody want to watch it. But
Yeah, man. That's it, man. I want to get on out of here. I'm ready. I'm ready to go party now.
yeah,
I'm finna go party hardy, y'all.
yeah, I'm about to go
And
eat
then,
to go to sleep.
yeah. Love y'all.
Uh,
Peace. I'm out.
Peace
Go
out,
back
peace
and
out.
watch this video. I'm out. Layla Tov. Yabaraka.
Peace. Shalom.